welcome to this episode of my Women Empowerment Wednesday show. My name is Jessica DSB. Enjoy this episode.
Happy Wednesday! Happy Women Empowerment Wednesday. I'm super excited. Yes, this is the first time in many, I think it happened in the beginning once, but I am late. So it is now like 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we are doing this call and I'm super, super excited. So welcome to all of you that will be joining. My name is Jessica. Who I am is an entrepreneur, a coach, 2 times best international selling author. I'm a mom and I'm also a passionate world traveler. Super, super excited to be with all of you today with our special guest. Oh my God. Before I introduce her, I just want to share a bit more about this Women Empowerment Wednesday. It's a movement that started back in April. Every single week, we have a Facebook Live where we have empowering, touching, inspiring conversations, different topics every week. And it is a conversation, but not only a conversation with me and the special guest, but a conversation with you guys to bring into your family, into your friends, into the people you care about. So help us join that conversations. If you're watching live, type live in the comments. Hello, Jamie. And if you're going to be watching replay, type replay in the comments. I'm super excited for everybody that will be watching this. Today, we have such an amazing special guest all the way from New Zealand. So it's like October 1st there. It's 9 a.m. in the morning and it's her birthday. Oh my God. Miss Aneta Edwards is somebody I've had the pleasure to meet a few years ago. And she is an entrepreneur. She's a global leader. She's a speaker, a coach, and most of all, and my favorite part, she is passionate about empowering women. Yay! Welcome to the call and happy birthday!
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Jessica. I have been so excited to be on here to share with you. And because I just have so much love and respect for everything that you are doing. You know, you are the epitome of a strong, beautiful, empowered woman in every sense of the word, out there making a difference and touching people's lives. You know, we're very strong empowerers of women, both you and I. And we know that this call is not just for women, it's also for men as well. It's for everybody. And thank you for your service and everything that you're doing. You're such a light worker. You just have such a beautiful soul. So I'm excited to be here and thank you for the birthday wishes. Woo-hoo.
Woohoo! Happy birthday! Wish everybody that are watching, Jamie, Sarah, happy birthday. Say all happy birthday. So let's get into, before we get into the special topic today, because I'm very excited to talk about that with you. Let's hear a bit more about who you are, you know, because, you know, everything you just said, I'm throwing it right back to you because the moment I met you, I'm like, wow, the way you show up, your posture, the way you dress, the way your energy is, and the way you're an extremely servant leader. And I love your energy. So it's really a pleasure and honor for me to have you on this call today. So let me hear about a bit more about who you are for the viewers that are just getting to see you for the first time.
Thank you. Well, as you can probably tell by my accent, if you're in North America, it's not a North American accent by any shape or form. So I come from a beautiful country called New Zealand, which is in the Pacific. So kia ora, everyone, tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi atu, ngā mihi kia koutou. I'm Māori from the Pacific, so we come from the Polynesian area and countries. So I grew up with my culture, and which is something that I'm very passionate about. I am a mother, A single mother predominantly most of my working life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an entrepreneur. I have an international, well, everything is global today, isn't it? So online business, I have a distribution business which spans about 7 countries. I'm really passionate about helping people to make residual income, to be able to set up a side hustle with the view to it, you know, replacing their current work. And obviously, you know, unprecedented times that we're in, this is really a time for unprecedented opportunities. So the online world, as you know, because we are also business partners, is super, super exciting. So I love that. It's my heart and joy. But I'm a speaker. And that's how I am passionate about touching people's lives and making a difference in their lives. And so super, super excited to be here.
Yay! Welcome, welcome. Hello. Yes, Jamie says represent. Hello, Anna Rita. Lovely name, by the way. Welcome, everybody that's watching. Please type in the comments live. If you're watching replay, type replay. So let's get into this topic today. That was actually a shout out to Miss Fatney Mackenzie, I believe the last name. I'm sorry if I messed it up. A few weeks back, I asked for people to talk about like the different topics that you'd love to hear about. And she actually typed in the comments how to turn adversity and negative situations into fuel and fire. And I absolutely loved it. And then when we connected, I said, we need to have that topic this week. And it completely aligned with you. And I can't wait for you to share about it. But just before you do, I want to just share a little bit about, because a lot of people have been worried about me. I've been going through a very adversity, negative situations. So I do want to share authentically that I am feeling much better today, and I am turning that adversity and negative situations into fuel, more power. I'm more than ever like so strong with my mission of empowering women, of empowering men and women. And so I just wanted to take that little moment because shout out to Sid, my coach yesterday, that gave me 15 minutes of his time, and I actually went into that topic and I said, you know what, Sid, I'm gonna publicly talk about it tomorrow. So thank you for everybody that's been with me in the last few weeks, that's been supportive and being there for me. But I'm good and I'm super excited to be here. So let's dive in with what you want to share about this amazing topic, because it is, I've said this before, every single human being will go through adversity, right? It's not something that we can get by with. Everybody's going to go through adversity. So how can you turn that adversity into fuel and fire? And you're proof of it. So
Thank you so much. Well, Jessica, exactly, you hit the nail on the head. You know, we're all human. We're all going to go through our life's ups and downs. You know, the one thing about life is it is a major roller coaster at times, and the whole world globally has experienced that. So what I'm passionate about today is to bring you some keys, you know, to help you get through that. And, you know, as we look at our dreams and goals, you know, we need to look at what are the things that are going to help us to get through the things that are going to happen in our lives towards the attainment of those dreams and goals. And, you know, one thing that Viktor Frankl is the Austrian psychiatrist and survivor of Holocaust. And, you know, as you can imagine, his experience was just absolutely, you know, horrendous. But what he says is that striving, you know, for the meaning of life is the primary, most powerful motivating factor and driving force that humans have. So one of the key things which is so important and why a lot of people don't actually go on to success is they don't have know what their passion or their purpose is, right? So the most important thing, as we know, is knowing what your passion and your purpose is, and having a big dream or goal to help you to get to do that. Because the bigger your dream, the greater the sacrifices and the greater the challenges that your journey is going to have, but the greater the reward. And I want to share with you a story about an incredible hero, a story about a real man, a story about bravery and courage, to help share with you some of the keys that we need to be able to have success in our own lives. And this is actually a story of my dad. So my dad was between 21 and 23 years of age. He fought in the jungles of Asia. So we've all seen, the movies of Vietnam, the Vietnam War. My dad and his friends were involved, across those two wars, which were close together. So my dad was on deep jungle operations. And on one of these operations, my dad was actually spat at in the eyes by a cobra. Now, our country is beautiful. One of the things that makes it beautiful is we don't have snakes in our country. Wow. So unfortunately, actually, my dad was given the wrong, incorrect medical treatment. They treated his eyes with boric acid, which is not the correct treatment for snake toxin in the eye. And over the next 3 years, during his service, he continued to have a lot of eye problems consistently all through his medical record. The snake incident is in there. When he was discharged from the army, when they left Asia, my dad was discharged with perfect eyesight on his medical record, which actually was an administrative mistake. 10 years on, and my dad's sight had started to deteriorate significantly. So, just a few years after he was home back in New Zealand, now he's full of a dream, and he's driven by his dream for his family and his children that he dreamed to have in the future, but he was starting to lose his eyesight. My dad had a very successful business in forestry and logging, but as he was losing his eyesight, he was unable to work. My dad was continuously denied any kind of war disablement compensation or pension because of the medical mistake record that was on his medical records. But he knew that it was his right, and he was in the right to apply for that compensation, but also for recognition. My dad kept fighting for 10 years, and then in the next 10 years, he now had 2 little girls. By the 10th year, my dad was totally blind. He'd lost his sight. He'd lost his independence. He'd lost his ability to provide an income for his family. And he'd lost his ability to protect 2 little girls. Can you just imagine the trauma that my dad must have been going through? Because I was just a baby by this time. But my dad was so full of a massive dream and burning desire that the continual knockbacks again and again and again, he just absolutely refused to give up. And, one of the key things that's really important to know, that whatever your dream goal is, you've got to know that it is possible. You may not believe that you can actually do it. You may have a dream and think, but I can't do that. I don't know. I want to do that. I don't know. But all you have to do is to know that is possible. And as you're running for that dream and goal, like my dad, you're going to discover that, there are difficulties. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be failures. There's going to be disappointments. So it's really important. Number one, mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. So it's important to preset your expectation when you're running for your dream and goal, that you're prepared that these things are going to happen. And so it's important to, create a tough mindset to build that. So coming back to my dad's story, my dad his dream was so big that his faith was unshakable. And through my dad's journey, I learned to fight for my dreams. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to fight for your dreams because of the roller coaster. You know, it's not just in your business or whatever you're doing, it's life, right? So let me tell you something, that in my dad's 20th year of fighting, now his fight for justice, because he knew that they were waiting for him to die. My dad incurred many other injuries from his 3 years service for his country and protecting our allies. In my dad's 30th year and fighting for his fight for justice, I joined him in his journey. And I saw him keep getting knocked back and keep getting disappointed. There were times we came out of, you know, a court session, a hearing, and we just cried. And we just felt as if it was over. There's nothing more than we can do. And we just felt hopeless and helpless. I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that you are going to get to that point. You are going to get to that point, but just keep fighting and just keep going. Dexter Yeager, billionaire mentor, right, says, it's not the size of the man in the fight that counts, it's the size of the fight and the man. It's about how big your dream is. And as my coach and mentor, Mr. Les Brown says, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry. And I'll tell you something, which is synergy and synchronicity, because today I'm coached by Mr. Les Brown, who I feel so blessed and honored to be so. But way back, everybody, you have to go into YouTube, Les Brown, the Georgia Dome. The most powerfully impacting speech of my life. And way back when I heard it, I was quite young and I fell in love with personal development. And there's, you know, I'm bringing it around again, but you're going to have to grow yourself, to grow your mental capacity to fight the fire, right? So I did not know that that was Les Brown, because we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have social media. All I heard was a voice, and I was on a professional development program, a book of the month and a tape of the week. And I just heard a story again and again. You're going to have difficulties. You know, you're going to have failures. You're going to have disappointments. But it's not over until I win. I'm going to tell you something. That became my dad and I, our mantra. It's not over. He tells the story of he's playing chess with his 9-year-old son, Leslie, and he wants to go to bed. He'd already won, and he wants to go to bed, but young Leslie says, no, it's not over. It's not over, right? And so that just stuck in my head. But you've got to know that for your dream, you have to just keep saying to yourself, it's not over until I win. My dad said, they're just waiting for me to die. They're not going to win. And we would say, it's not over until I win. So we kept fighting. 20 years later, you know, we were able to do research about snake venom. I flew into Asia twice and I came back and they still knocked us back. So the second time I flew over, I found an eye specialist at the snake cobra farm, venom farm. She looked at my dad's medical records and said, undoubtedly your father lost his sight through being toxin bem, and he was given the wrong medical treatment. You know what? This was now 45 years later. And we just kept going. But I'm going to tell you something, that the German psychiatrist Friedrich Nietzsche, philosopher, says, when you know your reason, your why for living, you will endure almost anyhow. Right? And in the 50th year, ladies and gentlemen, my dad had lost everything. It wasn't even just about the money. It was about his right to be recognized and his fight for his fellow veterans who were still fighting their fight for justice, who were denied all the time. On Valentine's Day, February the 16th, 2017, my father won his battle for compensation and for his fight for justice in the New Zealand High Court. How powerful is that? So what are the lessons that I learned? I learned from my father through his leadership by example. My father never told me to do this or do that. Right. True lessons are caught right? They're not taught. So I learned, number one, to fight for my dream. I learned to have a dream so big that nothing was going to stop you. And you have to have a whatever it takes attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're just going to have to do. I learned that nothing is going to go smoothly. I learned to expect difficulties and trials and tribulations. I learned to take the energy of disappointment. And, there were times where I actually fell into a depression and anxiety. But you can actually learn to take that energy and transmute it through meditation and intention. And something that I found with meditation, which is just so powerful, and I wasn't good at meditating because of my mind just goes a million miles an hour.
I know that.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, but what I learned to do was just purely when I took a deep breath in and breathed out, I just focused my attention down onto my breathing. And then what that did was it just blocked everything out, and the breathing, and then focused all that energy, and I imagined it turning into white, powerful light in my body, and then taking that and absolutely using it as a torpedo and throwing it at the issues and challenges. So you can transmute down negative toxic energy, and so that you can absolutely destroy your challenges with it. The other thing that my dad did is, as you can imagine, by the 30th, 40th, 50th year, not even his mates believed him anymore. Not even his mates that were in Asia actually even believed the story. All the medical doctors were saying, no, he didn't lose his sight like that. They all started thinking that he was just, crazy old man now, and, saying horrible things about him. They would use character assassination, the other side that we were, versing against. My dad didn't care what they said or thought about him. So what's important, as we know, is guard the doorway of your mind. Protect your mind ferociously and fiercely. As Mr. Les Brown says, what people think of me is none of my spiritual business, right? So you want to be very powerful about that. Surround yourself only with people who lift you higher, says Oprah, right? These are pretty amazing people to listen to. You just have to have an unshakable faith. That's what I learned. You have to have an unshakable faith. I believed in my dad when no one else did. Look for people who believe in you. Look for mentors that can take you where you cannot go, because that's what a mentor is. Look for people who tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So there are powerful, incredible keys. The other thing I learned from my dad is be a person of integrity. Be a person of your word. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Just as an example, how I use that, because my dad had all his situation, we had a very difficult situation when we were growing up. My dad also had PTSD, right? So a very traumatic environment. We didn't understand it. But we grew up in a very difficult financial situation. That actually fueled my dream to be massively financially successful, to be able to look after my family. And I'm still on that journey, right? So, but I've been able to achieve some amazing things that I never ever would have thought 5 or 10 years ago that someone like me could have achieved. I actually had anxiety with public speaking when I was in high school.
Can't tell now.
No problem talking now, but it's untrue, right? So I was a single mum with a 5-year-old daughter, and a huge opportunity came up for me in Australia. And oh wow, it was quite scary because I had a great job. I just hated the politics and the ethics of the company, and so I made a decision. I quit my job. I gave back my car, all the perks that went with it. I sold everything I had, And I left safety and security of my family to go to another country where I knew one person.
Wow.
Because it was a huge opportunity, because I looked at it and yes, I had fear, but for me, it was worth it. See, your dream has to be worth it, whatever you're going to go through. I got there, and on the first day, guess what? There was no job.
No.
And before I left, when I quit my job, I thought, I had this fear came over me. It's like, can't say the word. Oh my God, what have I done? Oh my God, what have I done? I had that fear moment. And then I kept focusing on my dream. No, it's going to be okay. So I get there and there was no job. And just a blanket of fear came over me. I thought, what have I done? I don't even have enough money to live. I literally got here because I was going to have accommodation, I thought, organized. But what I did, I knew from my personal development, this is why personal development is so important. And as Mr. Les Brown said, don't let fears steal your dream. And I took some moment away and I just took some time to myself to disrupt that thinking and stop all the fear that was coming over me. Because bravery and courage is not the absence of fear. Bravery and courage is feeling the fear and stepping out 1 foot at a time, one step at a time, and still continuing to do what you need to do. Right. And I remembered, FEAR, false evidence appearing real, although right at that moment it looked pretty real to me.
Right.
And I did exactly FEAR, face everything and rise. And the next day I went and got a newspaper, went online, and I saw an ad which says, are you a 100K person? And I circled it. That's me. Right. I never made 100K in my life. This is quite a while ago, pre-social media and everything like that. I didn't even know what this company was. They accepted my, they gave me an invitation for an interview. So I went to the interview. I'd never been in a flashist building like this. Everything was marble. And what I found out, it was in the financial district. They were all men there, about 20 men, dark suits, stockbrokers, traders, bank managers, and all those, very serious, successful men. I was the only woman. We went into the interview. Long story short, I was one of the 3 people that got the job.
Wow.
And I said to them, because I didn't know what they're talking about. What's equity? Well, I don't even know what they're talking about. So they offered me the job and I said, oh, and then fear came over me of success. Because I thought, oh my God, I don't know anything about this job. I said to them, look, I just have to tell you something. I don't know anything about the stock market. And they said, that's what we love about you, because we can train you. But all these other people intimidate our customers, who are the mom and pop investors. When they got me to stand up to talk about, tell us in 5 minutes why you're the right one for the job. I didn't know anything about the service. I just said, the most important thing for me is to get to know the actual customer, what their dreams and goals are, what their fears are, what are their pain points, to share with them the formula D plus V plus W equals financial success. What is D? Your dream and goal. I want to know what their dreams and goals are. I want to listen to them. V is the vehicle. I want to share with them how this vehicle, through our partnership, because I'm not the specialist here, but I will partner with the specialists to work together with them. And W is work, because the only place work comes before success is in the dictionary, and that equals financial success. That's what got me the job. So they offered me the job, and I said, can you give me a couple of hours to think about it? So I had to go walk away around Brisbane. I didn't have any other option. So I went back, and the next day I flew off to Perth, Western Australia. And I'm going to tell you something. Everything that happened, even though I thought it was the worst thing that happened to me at that point in my life, was actually the biggest blessing ever to happen in my life. This is why. Because that month I made $10,000 within 2 weeks. and I made 100K that year, and I only worked 9 months of the year because I took every school holiday off and 6 weeks off over Christmas to fly home to my daughter. So you just have to understand also that there are blessings in what we have to go through. I don't regret anything. As horrible as I thought they were that happened to me, they were blessings, because life happens for you. Life's not happening to you, right? And something that Viktor Frankl said, and I'm going to wrap up, is that everything can be taken away from a man, but for one thing, the last of the human freedoms, which is the attitude to choose how you react in any given situation, right? And how you choose the way to go. How powerful is that? So you have the choice. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life. I just want you to know it is possible. Whatever your dream and goal is in this life, it is possible, regardless of what you have to go through. And how do I know that it's possible for you? Because you are special. You have greatness in you. And as Mr. Les Brown, my coach, says, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Love it, love it, love it. This is incredible. Everybody that's watching live, hello, Vianney, hello, Shelly, Emma, Firdosh, sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, Christine. I have a lot of comments here. Oh my God, hold on. I need that right now. Amazing topic, incredible story. You, Aneta Edwards, you are pretty amazing yourself. I have heard so many great things about you. I love how inspiring you are. Your story and inspiration to all of us, men and women combined. This is the purpose of this call. This is a women empowerment, but the men have to be included in this conversation, right? Hello, Annie. Reminder that everybody watching live or even a replay, happy birthday to Miss Aneta Edwards. It's her birthday today. Let's all wish her happy birthday in the comments. That make this a celebration, a Facebook Live celebration. And what a great conversation. What a great story. Like, so powerful what you shared. I had like a lot of things coming and I'm like, I want to share too. But I love to hear what you're saying. And I know a lot of people, everybody that's going to be watching are going to feel the same way. And I had written down, you don't drown from falling in the water, but you drown by staying there. You know?
What a great way to wrap up everything I've just said. Absolute validation.
Exactly. So everything I feel like I can't even add because you've given us so many gold nuggets. I absolutely love it. Annie says, happy birthday, Aneta. Thank you for blessing us with your greatness. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much. I'll check the comments later. Every time I go to put it on, I can't mute it. So
don't worry. It's going to be posted. So one question I do want to ask you before we wrap up the call is, what came about your passion about empowering women?
Okay. Adversity.
Okay.
And I'm just going to share something here, and I hope I can be vulnerable and very real about this, because you know, we are absolute. I love women, and I want women to step into their greatness and, you know, and really to live incredibly fulfilling lives. Sadly, the greatest adversaries for us are actually women. And in my life experience, and I don't share this for anyone to feel sorry for me, because, you know, I broke out of the victim. But I was stuck in that victim for quite a while because of things that had happened, you know, they were happening to me, why me? But actually bullying to the nth degree, the most nasty, toxic, destructive things that can happen. And, but today I say, let your haters be your motivators, girl. Let your haters be your elevators. And
Yes.
I am so blessed to these women who are just so full of jealousy. I'm so sad for them. But I lost a business and there was no way that I was going to stay down. I was going to come back, and I did. I came back and I reset, because this is going to happen in business, right? Different businesses, whatever your business is, it doesn't matter. But that was massively impacting for me to really want to fight, to be an empowerer of women and help women find their joy. I don't know if you've seen on my Facebook, but I recently mentored and sponsored my 15-year-old niece, who was a tomboy, great at sports. She wasn't a girly girl, and it wasn't all because of me. She 100% did the work, and she had an incredible support team of mentors and her amazing mother, Whakarongotai, who I love. Yeah, so my niece is Aneta, and she won the Miss Teen Rotorua 2020 pageant.
Wow.
And that was significant. Her growth was exponential. She's going to be unstoppable. This is just the beginning for her. And I want to see women, become massively successful in pursuing opportunities through virtual platforms like this.
Right.
To be able to know that they can reach out to other people to help them find their purpose and their dream. And of course, I work with men too, but that was significant. The other thing was, when my mother eventually left my dad, I said as I love my mum and my dad, but this goes back to when I was 18. I said, Mum, why did it take you so long, to leave? And she said, because I was emotionally and financially dependent. And I've only just realized that that was a transformational moment for me. And I determined I was never going to be emotionally or financially dependent on anybody.
Woo.
There you go.
Oh.
So the most important thing I want to say, it's so important to live in your joy. Yeah. When I contribute to someone like my niece, Annie, I was so full of joy. I think my goal was to have 10 charities that I donate to. This month I ended up with 7. I've donated to one twice. And last night I was trying to add 2 more before midnight, because that was my September goal. And I couldn't do it online, whatever, I don't know, through their websites. And also, I've never done this before. I do have a fundraiser for Operation Underground Railroad. So please go and have a look. $1, $2, it doesn't matter. It's going to make a difference to sex trafficking children. Right. So I'm very passionate about that. I hear a lot of people talking about it. It is the most heinous thing that is out there. But hey, it's about action. Let's do something to impact a life today.
I love it. How can people best reach you?
Facebook, Messenger.
Perfect.
Or Instagram, Aneta_Edwards. I do have a website for my speaking and coaching business, which is going to be worked on with another phenomenal, incredible, good friend of Mr. Les Brown and Mr. John Talarico, who is my coach and mentor. He's actually the top #1 world's top coach with Bob Proctor and Proctor Gallagher.
Amazing. Let me see. I have a few more comments here. Firdash Patel says, happy birthday, Aneta. Have a nice day. Enjoy. Daniel, hello. Is saying a few words that I can't pronounce. And then somebody else, Aneta, I'm watching this October 1st, 2020. Your birthday just blessed my day, my month. Happy birthday from T. Runga. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. Hello, Marie-Ève. Anna Rita says, Aneta, play, repeat, repetition is the mother of learning. Plus, you have great mentorship, of course. Oh my God. Hello, Jeanette, my aunt. And hello, Claire. She says, awesome, Aneta. Thank you all for watching. If you were watching live, type live in the comments. If you're watching replay, let us know. Let us know in the comments as well what was your favorite part of the call. It was such an incredible topic. Time flies like every single week. I would love to hear you talk another hour, 2 hours, but I will keep an eye for that website and keep following you because you're such an incredible, inspiring woman. And I'm very excited because you already achieved a lot of great, amazing things, and you're going to be achieving more and touching and contributing to many more women. So I'm very excited for you. So just to wrap up, I'm going to read the 2 quotes that I picked for today's call, and I'll let you finish with the last few words. So I picked, instead of letting your hardship and failures discourage or exhaust you, let them inspire you, let them make you even hungrier to succeed. And that's Mrs. Michelle Obama. And you said, we were aligned, right? When you said Mr. Les Brown, when you stay hungry, right? And then the second quote is, stand up straight and realize who you are, that you tower over your circumstances. And that's Maya Angelou. So just a reminder for all of you that are watching, that are going through maybe tougher adversities, just rewind and just listen to those quotes again and to everything that you've been saying. So let me hear from you, last few words, and then we're going to be wrapping up this call.
I just want to say, live in your joy. Find your joy. And for me, a very big part of that is by giving away your love and joy to somebody. Touch someone's life today with a smile. It doesn't cost anything to do that. If there's someone that's been on your mind, message them, call them, ring them to say, hey, how are you? I was thinking about you. Is everything okay? If there's somebody that you've had a disagreement with and you've had silence with and you're thinking about them, maybe this is the time to do that. Make a donation, $1, $2 to a charity today. Anyway, I'm going to tell you, those simple, basic things in life fill your life with joy. We just can't be always focused on the big, grandiose things, right? Or you
right. That's the little things that add up, right?
Absolutely. That's very simple wrap up.
I love it. Thank you so much. Peely says amen. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right. And Anna Rita says, Aneta, Jessica, you are both inspiring women. Thank you for sharing today. Absolutely. Thank you to all of you that were watching live. Like, this call is way more fun when we have, conversations and interactions. So thank you all for watching. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. You are so incredible. Like, what an honor to be able to have some of your time and hear you talk. And it's your birthday. Remember, in the comments, type happy birthday. I will be sharing this video on my Facebook group page, Women Empowerment by Jessica DSB. And Aneta, if you can go comment how to reach your Facebook and your Instagram, and maybe in the future, your website coming soon. So thank you again, everybody. I will be back next Wednesday with another special guest. And have an awesome Wednesday.
If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share with the people that you love and care about. Jessica DSB.